Have you ever walked through the door at the end of a stressful day and felt absolutely ravenous? And even though you ate not that long ago. So this morning, I have a very long story about all the stuff that I did. And it's the thing that most people don't realize is that the hunger isn't actually hunger at all. It's your body's stress response in disguise. And today I'm going to show you exactly what's happening and how to work with it instead of against it. And I'll let you know all about my slipping on black ice and everything else. So if you ever catch yourself feeling like you can't control your eating when you're stressed, or if you find yourself kind of reaching for snacks when life gets overwhelming, this video is going to change how you understand your body. So we talk a lot about fight, flight, and freeze responses, but we rarely discuss the feed response, and kind of this is what I'm going to go into. So this is a biological urge to eat when we're under stress. And understanding this isn't just willpower, it's about working with your nervous system instead of fighting against it. So it's great we've had another F word for stress. So ideally by the end of this video, you'll understand why stress triggers genuine physical hunger and the difference between stress hunger and actual hunger, and how to respond to your body's stress eating signals with compassion and wisdom, and practical strategies to nourish yourself without derailing your health goals, because that's really important. It's really important for me as well. So that's kind of what I'm sharing, why I'm sharing this. So let's start with my morning from hell. And this is where my stress got up. So normally my son stays with his mum one night a week. So he did it last night. And normally I'm awake by 6 o'clock in the morning and I have to leave at 8 to get him. It's fine. I have plenty of time to get ready. So this morning I woke up at 7 o'clock because I was over an hour later than normal. So I was like, oh, okay. I literally have to rush and get ready. So I left the house and I thought, it's much warmer than it's been. So I thought the ice is not going to be that bad. And it looked a little bit bad, but it looked like it might be melting on my car. Tried my windscreen wipers, broke my windscreen wiper, had to fix my windscreen wiper, go back in the house, get some water to try and get the car to defrost a bit quicker without slipping on the pavement, because I noticed there was white, you could see ice on the pavement where I was and on the road. So anyway, so I've got the car sorted, I've left. I'm on the way to pick him up, and there's temporary traffic lights that are main set of lights I have to go through. So now I'm thinking, all right, it's taking longer here. I can cope with it. I'm on time, but I have to go back through these lights to take him to school. And I know how bad that traffic is. So it's going to add time. So I get there, I think I'm all right, times, cross the road. The pavement outside of my mum's had black ice on it. So I've crossed the road, rushing in my trainers, not the best shoes on ice. And I've slipped, phone in hand, keys in the other, slipped, tried to kind of put my hand down without breaking my phone, smashed my hip into the floor. So I can just about walk now. It's really fun. So I pick my son up, go with the car. He was delightful, which was perfect because he was all like, Mummy, can I look after you? So a journey to school that normally takes me 7 or 8 minutes took 20, 25 minutes. We were late. I parked in the disabled bay because, well, I couldn't really walk anyway, so I took that as an excuse. And yeah, so that was fun this morning. So I walked in the house, and the first thing I noticed was I was just absolutely starving. And I wasn't feeling especially stressed. I wasn't feeling the usual like stress response, like fight or flight. I didn't feel like my adrenaline was really pumping around my body. But my body was still having a stress reaction. So part of this is kind of to understand that what happened to me when I slipped, particularly. So there was other stressful events going on that actually were quite manageable, but it was the slipping. So the slipping was like a big stress. So when I did that, the adrenaline, the cortisol rushed through my body. It was like an acute stress, but I stayed very consciously, very calm because it was like an event. And I do know people with ADHD, when they have sort of like really shocking events, they can stay very calm. I stayed very calm, but obviously internally I was still having this stress reaction because it was quite scary to fall over. And then as I was coming home from dropping my son off from school, my stress levels were actually coming down. So I was calming. But then what happens is you get a post-stress like dip. And for me, that comes across as hunger, tiredness, difficulty concentrating, because it's like literally my body is starting to shut down now. And that's because of the sheer amount of energy I've had to use for that stress response. And so now what it wants to do is it wants to basically replenish all that energy, but it's kind of like mismatching how much energy you've used. It's kind of like overestimating in some ways. So we often feel that hunger as we come down from stress, not necessarily at the peak moment. So obviously when we're really, really stressed, we might feel like sometimes I will like shove food in when I'm really at the height of stress. So there's two times when I notice that the shoving food in to help stress happens. One, when I'm really, really stressed at something that's going on. So maybe mid-argument, I'm like, I'm gonna stop. I know it's really weird, but mid-argument, I want to start eating because I'm really, really stressed. Um, and that's a stress response. That's a comfort response. That's a needing to fawn myself essentially. And then there's the coming down from stress when the energy dips really low. My body wants it to recover. And this is a legitimate physiological response. It's not actually a character flaw. It's your body is responding to the stress that it's experiencing. So part of what I'm doing is practicing awareness. My group at the moment, we're running break your stress response. So we're working on that. And so I'm bringing more awareness to what's happening in the stress. So I'm tuning in more to what's actually happening in my body and starting to understand it. And I'm recognizing the difference between comfort seeking. So when I want to eat for comfort seeking and when I actually am eating for nourishment, and they're very different things. And it's importance of honoring my body's signals without judgment. So my past patterns would have been this low energies happen, the need to eat due to stress. So whether that's peak of stress or dip afterwards. And I would overeat. I would just eat and I would eat lots of rubbish, and that would lead to weight gain and a cycle of shame. And it's not something that I want to continue. So, but I don't want to also shame myself for feeling that hunger, because that hunger is perfectly natural. So my solution for it was I ate. Normally I don't eat as soon as I get home from dropping my son off at school. I give myself an hour or so to do things then. But I thought, I'm going to eat straight away because I'm really hungry. And I ate something which would be comforting, but also stay within my health goals. So being vegan, I don't have eggs. Otherwise I would have had egg and chips. Fries if you're American, but in the UK, it would be egg and chips. So that was always my comfort food as a kid, right from a really young age. It's what me and my mum used to eat when I was like a toddler. So it stays as comfort food. So I had scrambled tofu instead, which is kind of like a good alternative. And for chips, they have a really bad rap of being really unhealthy. But when I make chips, I use real potatoes, right? Don't buy any frozen stuff. And I put them in my air fryer with a really, really tiny amount of oil. So I think I used half a teaspoon of oil with them. So it's like, they're still relatively healthy, but they feel very comforting. So I had chips, essentially egg and chips, my version, healthy version. And I had a few vegetables in with it as well. And I felt that comfort. And I still need a little bit extra afterwards. So I had a couple of squares of dark chocolate, which again is really nourishing, really supportive, but also really comforting. And it's about finding those, for me, it's about finding those comfort foods that are also nourishing so I can give myself what I need. And it's just remembering that you don't have to push yourself beyond the point of comfort. You can still allow yourself to have some comfort. It just maybe takes a little bit of thought. So if you know that you eat under extreme stress, it's pre-planning. It's thinking, okay, what can I have available that I can eat easily under stress that's still going to comfort me, but it's not going to push me into the realms of overeating stuff that I don't actually want to eat. And then the other thing that I'm going to work, and I'm doing this video now, but I'm also going to work in some rest and recovery today because I need to allow some of my energy to rejuvenate from the shock of the morning. So kind of one of the things that you need to start doing is thinking about how you can create your own protocol for this. So it's understanding your stress response patterns. So what would comfort you? So what foods feel comforting and nourishing? So you can start to think about those things, having those things available. And can you plan how you can give yourself permission to rest? Now, I know that's not always possible. So it's how you can manage that around. So if you have to go to work and you've had a big shock, what can you do in your work environment that will allow a day to be slightly easier and slightly less stress in order to recover from maybe a big shock that you've had? And just kind of starting to reject the push through culture that ignores our body's wisdom. So starting to tune into your body's wisdom and say, okay, what does my body need? And allowing yourself to have what it needs. And so we can do a gentle practice together. So obviously, if you're doing something while you're watching this, then you can't do it. But if you can take a time where you can sit somewhere you're not going to be disturbed for a few minutes, then just kind of sit down nicely. We're going to tune into our own bodies. So if you've got the ability to lie down, you can lie down. Or if you want to be seated, ideally with your feet flat on the ground in an upright but supported posture. And if you're able to, if it feels comfortable, just allow the eyes to close and just start to go within. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. So inhale through your nose and out through your mouth. Inhaling. And as you exhale, allow your shoulders to drop a little more. And again, inhaling. And exhale, releasing. Now just bring your awareness to your body. You bring it to your body as a whole. We're not trying to bring any judgment here, we're just noticing. Where are you holding tension? So you may want to scan from the crown of your head down gradually through each part of your body, all the way down to the tips of your toes, and then back up again. Where do you feel tiredness? Where might you feel that post-stress come down? So you might want to go from the top of the head, down through your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, belly, hips, legs, and all the way down to your feet. And as you scan, ask yourself gently, what does my body need right now? And don't come up with what you think it should need. Allow your body to tell you what it actually needs. Is it rest, movement, nourishment, comfort? So place one hand on your heart and one on your belly, and take 3 more deep breaths here at your own pace. And with each breath, send yourself the message: it's safe to rest. It's safe to recover. My body knows what it needs. When you're ready, just gently begin to bring your awareness back to the room, relaxing your hands, and just gently allowing the eyes to flutter open and back in the right here and the right now. So this is a practice that you can come to anytime you notice kind of like you're coming down from stress, you can come back to it. Maybe there's hunger creeping in, tiredness creeping in, and it can help you to respond with awareness rather than reaction. And one of the things that came to me as I was working through this practice with you and I was going through it in my head was thinking that actually when we look at comfort and we're eating for that comfort, sometimes there may be other things that would give us the same comfort as the food. And so it's starting to bring that and if you're creating your own protocol, bringing that in as well. So what other things can I do to offer myself comfort, and just being aware of that. So if this video has resonated with you, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel so you can continue to get more updates from me, and it helps me to kind of continue creating content for the reflections of our sacred self. And if you'd like to go deeper into understanding your nervous system, building compassionate practices, and connecting with others on this journey of self-discovery, I'd love to invite you into my school group. It's a space where we explore these topics together, support each other, and practice honouring the wisdoms of our bodies. So you'll find the link in the description below. And just remember that your body stress responses aren't something to fight against. They're information. So listen with compassion, respond with wisdom, and trust that your body is always communicating what it needs. I'll see you soon.